Major League Baseball is beginning its season today with players and fans returning to stadiums in limited capacity after last year's shortened season. Who can forget that? The sports gambling business has been a major beneficiary of the coronavirus pandemic, with sports betting power hitter DraftKings up more than 400% and looking to expand its reach. Announcing this week the acquisition of the gambling-focused broadcaster VSiN. But with fans getting off the couch and into the stands, what does the future of sports betting look like? Joining us now is the legendary sportscaster and VSiN managing editor, Brent Musburger. Brent, welcome. Good to have you with us. It's a thrill for me personally to have you here, because when you're on, it's a big deal, and we appreciate your coming. Let's talk about baseball betting, if we might, for a minute. How does baseball as a betting sport compare with the other major sports, basketball, college college and pro football? Where does it fit?
You know, that's a very interesting question, because back in the day, in my particular era, when I grew up back in the 50s and the 60s and moved into media, baseball was king. They booked more baseball bets than anything else. But the era of television signaled a switch. And now, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the number one sport bet on in the United States is American football. It's not even close. The NFL, number one, and right there with it is college football. Number two, interestingly enough, would be basketball, and that has grown over the last 15 years, especially March Madness. When you talk to the operators in Las Vegas about the millions that they booked on the opening days of the tournament, it was pretty staggering. Remember, of course, that COVID had canceled March Madness a year ago. Everybody welcomed it back this year with open arms, okay? Now you're asking, well, what about baseball? Well, baseball slips down to number three, but there are still, especially some very sharp bettors, they hone in on baseball. Pitching is so important. You have to follow it every day. For example, out here in Montana, I've been watching the Yankees and the Toronto Blue Jays in Yankee Stadium open. Yankees fell behind 1-0, jumped ahead 3-1. You could have bet that game with just the first 5 innings, okay? And, of course, that targets in on the starting pitchers. Most people, though, bet baseball over the last 9 games, and there's a lot of parlay betting. But I say buyer beware. The best bet of today was the S&P 500, over 4,000. Come on, guys. Yeah. That's the bet. That's where to go today.
That is the right bet for today. So there are proprietary bets that you can make on baseball, you know, like who's going to score the first run, how many innings the starting pitcher is going to last. So it's not merely a kind of money line bet on who's going to win and who's not.
Yeah, I would advise anybody going into bet sports, be careful about those prop bets. Have fun with them. For example, Super Bowl comes around. Let's give you an idea about me. I always bet 4 or 5 props, but $10, $20. But I always bet that opening coin flip. And, of course, this year I was told tails comes up, because when they carved out the coin that the NFL uses, the head is heavier. It's going to be on the ground. And, of course, I bet tails, and, of course, it came up heads. So what I'm saying is, on the prop bets, have fun, enjoy it. But if you want to take a position, bet the games or the over-unders or the money line. That's actually where you should gravitate if you want to do it. I always say this whenever I'm on with anybody. Be careful, okay? These are tough lines. If it's money you're going to need to pay the rent or buy food for your family, forget about it. Don't do it, okay? Now, if you have a little extra cash, spare cash, and you want to take a chance, go ahead and have fun with sports. But if you think you're going to beat the bookies regularly with their numbers, I'm telling you right now, you're crazy. You're not going to do it.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.